In the quiet town of Oakwood, Virginia, nestled near the rolling hills and not far from a bustling military base, Emily Carter stepped off the bus with a worn duffel bag slung over her shoulder. It was a warm summer afternoon in 2023, the kind where the sun hung low and golden, casting long shadows on the cracked sidewalks. Emily was 45 now, her once dark hair streaked with gray, but her eyes still held that sharp, unyielding gaze she'd earned from years in the Army. She was home after 20 years of service, ready to start over in the place where she'd grown up. Oakwood hadn't changed much. The same old diner on Main Street, the hardware store run by Mr. Jenkins, and the VFW hall where veterans gathered every Friday night for beer and stories. Emily's family home sat on the edge of town, a modest ranch-style house her parents had left her. Her son, Jake, was away at college, and her husband, Tom, had been gone for 10 years, killed in action during a deployment they shared early in their marriage. She'd raised Jake alone between tours, sending letters and videos from distant lands. Now, she was here to heal, to find peace. That first Friday, Emily decided to visit the VFW hall. She needed to connect with folks who understood the weight of service. Dressed in a simple t-shirt and jeans, she walked in, the door creaking behind her. The room was filled with smoke and laughter, old men in baseball caps swapping tailies. A few women sat at the bar, nursing sodas. Emily ordered a coffee and found a seat near the back. It didn't take long for eyes to turn her way. Old Bill Harlan, a Vietnam vet with a booming voice, spotted her first. "Hey, new face, you from around here?" Emily smiled and introduced herself. "Emily Carter, grew up on Elm Street, just retired from the Army after 20 years. The group warmed up quick. They asked about her deployments, Iraq, Afghanistan, a stint in Germany. But then, as she reached for her cup, her sleeve rode up, revealing the tattoo on her forearm. It was a striking design, a phoenix rising from ashes, intertwined with a faint outline of a trident. The colors were faded but bold, inked during a moment she'd never forget. Bill leaned in, squinting. "What's that ink there, Missy? Looks like something from a fairy tale." A chuckle rippled through the group. Another vet, Sam, a burly guy with a Gulf War patch, snorted. "Phoenix with a pitchfork, you get that at a mall kiosk. Don't look like no military tat I ever seen." More laughs followed. Emily's cheeks burned, but she kept her voice steady. "It's from a mission, means something personal." They didn't let up. "Aw, come on, Emily. We all got our stories, but that looks like you tried to fancy up a bad decision." A younger guy, Pete, who claimed National Guard service but never deployed, joined in. "Bet it's from one of them romance novels, Lady Soldier with a magic bird." The room erupted in guffaws. Emily felt a knot in her stomach, the kind that twisted from deep hurt. These were supposed to be her people, but here they were, mocking her mark of survival. She didn't snap back. Emily had faced worse, bullets whizzing past, friends lost in the sand. She finished her coffee, excused herself politely, and walked out into the night. Tears stung her eyes as she headed home, but she wiped them away. "They don't know," she whispered to herself. "They can't know." The tattoo wasn't just art. It was a badge from hell itself, earned in the shadows of a classified op where she'd saved lives no one talked about. Back at her house, Emily sat on the porch, staring at the stars. Oakwood felt smaller now, suffocating. She'd come home for respect, but found ridicule instead. Still, she wouldn't break. Tomorrow she'd look for work, rebuild her life. Deep down, a fire burned, the same one that got her through boot camp as a young widow, through nights alone with a crying baby while Tom was overseas. She was strong, unbreakable. But the laughter echoed in her mind, a reminder of how invisible her sacrifices felt. As days turned to weeks, Emily landed a job at the local diner, flipping burgers and pouring coffee. The pay was low, but it kept her busy. Customers came and went, some friendly, others not. One morning, a group of locals, including Pete from the VFW, sat in her section. "Hey, tattoo lady," Pete called out. "Got any Magic Phoenix specials today?" The others snickered. Emily forced a smile, served them without a word. Inside, her heart ached, but she stood tall. She knew her worth, even if they didn't. Life in Oakwood pressed on. Emily volunteered at the community center, helping other vets with paperwork. She reconnected with old friends like her high school buddy Sarah, who ran the library. "Ignore those fools," Sarah said one evening over tea. "You've got stories they can't imagine." Emily nodded, but the doubt lingered. Had her service meant nothing? The tattoo, a symbol of her bravest day, now felt like a curse. One evening, as she closed up the diner, her boss, Mrs. Ellis, pulled her aside. "Emily, you're tough as nails. Don't let the talk get to you." It was a small kindness, but it warmed her. Still, the mockery stung, a constant reminder of being underestimated. Little did she know, fate was stirring. Rumors buzzed about a big veteran event coming to town, a reunion for special ops folks. And with it, a man who would change everything. Word count, 1024. Part 2. Emily's days in Oakwood settled into a rhythm, but the sting from that first night at the VFW never fully faded. She woke early each morning, brewing strong coffee in her quiet kitchen, the house still echoing with memories of her parents and Tom. Jake called once a week from college, his voice full of excitement about classes and friends. "Mom, you okay there? Sounds lonely." She'd laugh it off. "I'm fine, kiddo, just getting my feet under me." At the diner, work was steady but grueling. Her shifts started at dawn, ending with sore feet and greasy aprons. Customers varied, truckers grabbing quick bites, families on weekends, but the mockers showed up too often. Pete and his crew became regulars, always with a jab about her tattoo. "Flap those phoenix wings and fly us some pancakes," Pete would say, elbowing his buddies. Emily bit her tongue, refilling their cups with a steady hand. She wouldn't give them the satisfaction of seeing her crack. One afternoon, during a slow hour, Emily sat in the back booth, rubbing her arm where the tattoo hid under her sleeve. Her mind drifted to how she'd gotten it. It was 2012, in the dusty mountains of Afghanistan. Emily was a sergeant in a logistics unit, supporting special forces. One night, intel came in about a trapped SEAL team, pinned down by insurgents in a remote valley. The mission was classified, off the books. Her team was called in for extraction support. The chopper ride-in was hell, turbulence shaking them like rag dolls, gunfire lighting the sky. Emily's job was to secure the landing zone, but things went south fast. An RPG hit nearby, wounding her co. She took charge, directing fire, pulling injured SEALs to safety. One, a young operator named Mike, was bleeding out. Emily applied pressure, dragged him to cover. "Hang on," she whispered. "We're getting out." In the chaos, she spotted the team's commander barking orders amid the smoke. They fought side by side for hours until reinforcements arrived. Back at base, the survivors gathered in a tent. The commander, a grizzled SEAL named Captain Harlan, no relation to Old Bill, pulled out a sketch. "This is for us," he said. A phoenix for rebirth from the fire, crossed with the SEAL trident for their brotherhood. Only those there got inked, a secret bond. Emily hesitated, but Mike insisted. "You saved us, Sarge. You're one of us now." The needle stung, but the pride swelled. That tattoo marked the day she faced death and won, sacrificing her safety for strangers who became family. But back home, no one knew. The op stayed buried in red tape, her role minimized in official records to protect the classified details. Snapping back to the present, Emily heard the bell ding, more customers. She pushed the memory down, got to work. That evening after shift, she visited the VA office on the edge of town. Her knee ached from an old injury, shrapnel from that same mission. She needed benefits, physical therapy. The clerk, a stern woman named Rita, reviewed her file. "Afghanistan, huh? Logistics, nothing flashy." Emily mentioned the op vaguely. Rita raised an eyebrow. "No record of that, you sure?" Doubt crept in, even from officials. Emily left frustrated, her strength tested. At home, she called an old Army friend, Lisa, who lived in Texas. "They're treating me like I made it up," Emily said, voice cracking. Lisa sighed. "Classified stuff bites us in the rear. Hang in there, Em, you're a hero." The next week brought more trials. At a town fair, Emily volunteered at the veteran booth. Kids ran around with cotton candy, bands played old tunes. Pete wandered by, beer in hand. "Look, the Phoenix lady, bet that bird could win the pie-eating contest." Laughter followed. A few townsfolk joined in, whispering. Emily's heart pounded, but she smiled for the kids handing out flags. Inside, anger simmered, not at them, but at the injustice. She'd given everything, yet here she was, reduced to a joke. Sarah, her friend, noticed. "Emily, why not tell them the truth?" Emily shook her head. "Can't, it's sealed." But doubt gnawed at her. Was her sacrifice worth the silence? That night, alone on her porch, tears fell freely. She missed Tom, the way he'd hold her after tough days. "I did it for us," she whispered to the stars. Strength returned slowly. She'd endured loss, raised a son, survived war. This was just another battle. Rumors spread about the upcoming veteran reunion at the base, a big event honoring special ops. guest speakers, medals. Emily considered going, heart hopeful. Maybe someone there would understand. Little did she know, Captain Harlan, now a commander retired, was on the list. Fate was closing in, ready to turn mockery to awe. Word count, 998. Part 3. As summer faded into fall, Oakwood's leaves turned gold and red, mirroring the quiet fire in Emily's spirit. She kept pushing forward, her routine a shield against the growing whispers. Work at the diner dragged on, but she found small joys, chatting with kind regulars like old Mrs. Thompson, who shared stories of her own wartime nursing. "You're a tough one, dear," Mrs. Thompson said one rainy morning. "Don't let the fools dim your light." But the fools persisted. Pete's group escalated their jabs, turning the tattoo into town gossip. At the grocery store, Emily overheard two women. "Heard she's got some silly bird tattoo. Claims it's military, probably just for attention." Emily gripped her cart, knuckles white, but walked on. The injustice burned, her service dismissed as fantasy. She'd lost friends in the field, buried her husband, yet her truth was laughed away. Back at the VA, things worsened. Emily returned for a follow-up on her knee. Rita, the clerk, pulled up her file again. Still no corroboration on that special mission. Without proof, benefits are limited. Emily's voice rose slightly. "It was classified, I can't just wave a flag." Rita shrugged. "Rules are rules, maybe talk to a higher-up." Frustration boiled over. Emily stormed out, feeling small and seen. That night, she journaled her thoughts, pouring out the pain. Why fight for a country that forgets its own? Character grew in the quiet moments. Emily started a support group at the community center for female vets. 3 women showed up the first time, young moms juggling jobs and PTSD. They shared tears and laughs. "I feel invisible too," one said. Emily nodded. "We see each other, that's what matters." Leading them built her confidence, reminding her of her leadership in the army. She was more than a mocked tattoo, she was a survivor. Flashbacks haunted her dreams. That Afghan night replayed, the explosions, the screams. After the rescue, back at base, Captain Harlan had pulled her aside. "Carter, you got guts. That Phoenix is our secret. Wear it proud." Mike, the wounded SEAL, had hugged her. Sister for life. But years later, Mike was gone, suicide from the invisible wounds of war. The tattoo now carried his memory, too, a heavy weight. One crisp afternoon, Sarah dropped by the diner with news. "Heard about the reunion? It's next month at the base. Special ops focus. Maybe you could go." Emily hesitated. "Not sure I'm welcome." But curiosity stirred. She researched quietly, learning Commander Harlan, promoted since then, was speaking. Her heart skipped. Could he remember? Tension built at the VFW. Emily went back one Friday, steeling herself. Bill was there, less mocking this time. "Hey, Emily, sorry if we ribbed you hard." But Pete overheard. "Ah, the Phoenix is back. Gonna flap your way to the bar." Emily met his eyes. "Pete, one day you'll eat those words." The room quieted. She felt a shift, her voice stronger, less tolerant. Home life brought warmth. Jake visited for a weekend, tall and proud. "Mom, that tattoo's cool. Tell me the story." She shared bits, eyes misty. "Someday, son," he hugged her. "You're my hero." It fueled her. But injustice peaked when Pete spread a rumor at the town hall meeting. "That Carter woman faking her service for sympathy, that tattoo's proof looks phony." A few nodded. Emily heard about it from Sarah, her blood boiling. "Enough," she muttered. She wouldn't hide anymore. As the reunion neared, Emily decided to attend. She'd wear short sleeves, tattoo out, let them stare. Unbeknownst to her, Commander Harlan was reviewing old files, memories surfacing. The stage was set for truth to emerge, for underestimation to shatter. Word count, 1012. Part 4. November brought a chill to Oakwood. Leaves crunching underfoot as excitement built for the veteran reunion. The event was held at the nearby military base, a sprawling complex of barracks and halls. Banners fluttered in the wind, welcoming heroes from across the branches. Emily drove there early, her truck rumbling over the gravel. She wore a simple blouse, sleeves rolled up, the Phoenix and trident on full display. "No more hiding," she told her reflection. The hall buzzed with activity. Tables lined the walls, covered in medals and photos. Vets mingled, sharing handshakes and stories. Emily spotted familiar faces from town, Bill, Sam, even Pete smirking in a corner. She held her head high, grabbing a seat near the front. The program started with speeches, politicians thanking service, bands playing anthems. Then the main speaker, Commander Harlan, retired Navy SEAL. He strode to the podium, tall and commanding, his face lined with years of duty. "Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be here. Today we remember the unsung, the ones who fought in shadows." Emily's breath caught. His voice was the same, gravelly and sure. As he spoke of covert ops, Emily's mind raced back. After the tattoo session, Harlan had promised, "If you ever need backup, find me." But life moved on: retirements, relocations. Now here he was. During a break, Emily approached the refreshment table. Harlan was nearby, chatting with attendees. Her tattoo caught the light. Harlan glanced her way, then double-took. His eyes widened. "Sergeant Carter?" Emily nodded, stunned. "Commander." He stepped closer, grasping her arm gently, tracing the ink. "The Phoenix, my God, it's you." Whispers spread. Pete watched from afar, frowning. They moved to a quiet corner. Harlan's face softened. "That night in the valley, you saved my team. Mike, the others, I never forgot." Emily's eyes filled. "It was my duty." He shook his head. "More than that, you took fire, led the evac, classified or not, you're a hero." Emotions swelled, validation after years of doubt. Back at the podium, Harlan continued. "I want to share a story. In 2012, a support sergeant joined our SEAL op. She wasn't supposed to be in the fight, but she was, pulled us from the brink." He scanned the crowd. "Emily Carter, stand up." Gasps echoed. Emily rose, legs shaky. Pete's face paled. Harlan detailed the mission, the ambush, her bravery. "This tattoo, it's our bond, only survivors have it." The room erupted in applause. Bill clapped loudest, shame in his eyes. Sam nodded respect. But Pete slipped out, anger brewing. After, folks approached Emily, handshakes, hugs. "We didn't know," Bill said. "Forgive us." Emily smiled. "Water under the bridge." Inside, healing began, but the night wasn't over. Harlan pulled her aside. "Your VA issues, I'll vouch, and there's more medals denied due to classification. We'll fix it." As they talked, a commotion arose. Pete, drunk and loud outside, argued with security. "She's lying. That tattoo's fake." Harlan overheard, eyes narrowing. "Son, you don't know what you're talking about." The twist was coming, justice on the horizon. Word count, 987. Part 5. The reunion hall quieted as the evening wound down, but for Emily, the real turning point was just beginning. Commander Harlan stood by her side, his presence a shield against the past's shadows. Word of his recognition spread like wildfire through Oakwood. By morning, the local paper ran a story. "Local vet's tattoo reveals heroic past." Calls poured in, apologies from Bill, Sam, even strangers. At the diner, Mrs. Ellis hugged her. "Proud of you, Emily." Customers left big tips, sharing their own stories. Pete, however, vanished for days, his mockery silenced. Emily felt a weight lift, her strength affirmed. Jake called, thrilled. "Mom, you're famous." She laughed, tears of joy. But Harlan had more. He visited her home, files in hand. "The mission's declassified enough now, your role's clear." He helped with VA paperwork, benefits approved, back pay coming. "And this," he said, handing a box. Inside, a purple heart and bronze star, long overdue. Emily's hands trembled. "For me," Harlan nodded. "For saving us." The powerful twist came at a town ceremony the next week. The mayor invited Emily and Harlan to speak. The VFW hall packed, townsfolk, vets, media. Emily shared her journey, the mockery, the silence, her unyielding spirit. "Service isn't about glory, it's about heart." Then Harlan dropped the bomb. Investigating Pete's claims, he dug into records. Pete Johnson never served. Stolen Valor, fake guard stories, no deployment. Gasps filled the room. Pete, in the back, tried to flee, but deputies stopped him. Exposed, he faced charges, his lies crumbling. Emily felt no glee, only closure. "Let it go," she told Harlan. But the town rallied, Pete shunned, Emily honored. In a satisfying end, she received a key to the city, applause thundering. Months later, Emily thrived, leading her support group, knee healing, life renewed. The tattoo, once laughed at, now inspired. She stood tall, redeemed, her journey from injustice to respect complete. In Oakwood's quiet streets, her story echoed, a reminder that truth wins, strength endures.